Just like most consumer devices, Linksys routers use a small program that manages its functionality. This little program is called Firmware. A firmware is a program or set of instructions encoded on a device. Firmware updates for Linksys routers are regularly posted at support.linksys.com. These updates usually include new functionalities or bug fixes, so if you're experiencing problems with your router, a firmware update might fix it. There are 3 ways to update your firmware. In this video, we'll be updating your router's firmware manually, as this is the method accessible to most routers. These are the steps involved in downloading and updating your router's firmware. For this setup, you'll need a few things. First is your Linksys router. We recommend that you update the router's firmware only if you are experiencing problems with it or require certain additional functionalities. Next is an Ethernet cable. We strongly recommend that you update the router's firmware using a wired connection, since doing it wirelessly risks interruption that could damage your router. Lastly, you'll need a computer. Any computer would do, as long as it has an Ethernet port and has a recent version of any web browser installed. Once you have gathered all the requirements, you're now ready to update the Linksys router's firmware. Step 1. Download your router's latest firmware. To do this, go to the Linksys support website at support.linksys.com. Once you're there, search for your router's model number on the search bar. While on the product page, click on the Downloads tab. Select your router's version and click on Download under the Firmware section to begin downloading the firmware. It is recommended to save the firmware on an accessible directory on your computer, such as your desktop. If the firmware file is on a compressed format, unzip it. Step 2. Log into your router's web-based setup page. To do this, open a web browser and enter your router's IP address into the address bar. Once the login prompt appears, enter your router's username and password. The default IP address of most Linksys routers is 192.168.1.1, and the default username and password are both admin. Step 3. Once you're in, you should take note of your router's wireless settings. You will need these later as you reconfigure your router. Step 4. Now go to the Administration tab and then the Firmware Upgrade sub-tab. Click on the Browse button and locate the firmware file you have downloaded earlier. The file should be on a bin or BIX format. Select the file and click Open. Step 5. Click the Start Upgrade button. This process may take a while, but should take no more than 5 minutes. This part of the process is very sensitive and must not be interrupted. Step 6. Once the update is finished, click Continue, and the router should reboot. To complete the upgrade, reset your router by holding the Reset button for 10 seconds. If your router model starts with these letters, hold the Reset button for 30 seconds instead. After resetting, power cycle your router. To do this, unplug the power adapter from the power outlet. Wait for 5 seconds, then plug it back in. Congratulations! You've just completed upgrading your router's firmware. To restore functionality to your router, reconfigure it based on your ISP. For more tips and tricks on setting up your wireless network, check out our other videos. Wemo, your home at your fingertips. Wemo is a family of simple, ingenious products that make life easier, simpler, and better. It uses your Wi-Fi network and mobile internet to control your home electronics right from your smartphone. The Wemo light switch replaces a standard light switch in your home and can be controlled remotely with an Android or an iOS device. The Wemo switch provides wireless control of TVs, lamps, stereos, heaters, fans, and more. Wemo app is specially designed for Wemo devices to let you manage them with a few flicks and taps. These devices are best paired with Wemo Motion. Using the free Wemo app, Wemo Motion uses motion to turn electronics on or off whenever you enter or leave a room. Wemo, your home at your fingertips. To know more about these devices, you can visit the Linksys online store for more information.